So let's start with a nice easy march. Lift that chest, try to roll those shoulder blades back and down. If you've been sitting at a desk all day, your shoulders have probably been slightly forward. Pull everything back, including your chin. Keep that chest lifted, just march nice and tall here. And from here, let's go into a push-pull. Just get warmed up through that upper body, breathing through it. Squeeze the shoulder blades together on the way back in. And exhale on the way out. Keep this up. 2 more. And let's take this into a W. We're going to keep that march going and just gently pull those shoulders back. And as you pull, squeeze the shoulders as if there's a pop can between your shoulder blades and you're trying to crush it. 2 more here. 1 left. And plant the feet. Take your arms into a W shape. Let's press up and pull down. Press up, pull down. Now when you pull those elbows and hands back slightly. So you're squeezing through the shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale. 2 more here. Inhale, exhale. 1 more of each. Inhale, exhale, and then relax the shoulders, shaking it out. Turn your palms facing up. Extend your arms out in front of your chest at rib cage height. Lift the chest up nice and high and then pull the shoulder blades back and down. We're going to row in, squeezing the shoulders and release. Let's go for 8. Exhale. 8, 7. So it's an explosive pull, squeezing the shoulder blades back and breathing deeply. Exhale. Inhale. 3, 2, 1 more here. 1, and release the shoulders. From here, we're going to take it into a twist. Place your fingertips just behind your ears, feet shoulder width apart, and lift that chest. Pull the elbows back. Let's rotate gently to the right. Here we go. Right, center, left. Now in a thoracic twist, right, center, left. We're focusing on twisting through the core, but keeping the hips and knees facing forward. So just a gentle 45-degree twist so that you're looking to the side, looking to that 45 degrees. 1 more on either side here, but we're keeping those hips and knees facing forward. And release. We're going to go back to that row, this time overhand grip, up a little higher, lift that chest, and let's row for 8. Here we go. Exhale. 8. Squeezing the shoulder blades. 7. Now you'll notice that I'm turning my palms in as I pull. Exhale, inhale. 4, 3, that's it. 2, 1 more here. 1. We're going to build on that twist. So in this move, we're going to deadlift into a twist. Keep those fingertips just behind your ears. Lift that chest. We're going to hinge forward from the hips. And on the way up, we're going to twist up facing the right, twist gently through the spine, and back down, this time over to the left side, twist gently to the left, and back down. Exhale, inhale, gentle twist through the lower back as you stand. A little bit through the shoulder blade as well. Breathing through this, push the bum back, keep the weight on the heels. We've got 2 more here. Exhale, 2. Inhale, 1. And release the shoulders. From here, keep your feet shoulder width apart, forward fold, thumbs up, palms facing out. Let's go into a T-raise. Here we go. 8. Once again, we're not forgetting with that pop can between the shoulder blades. 7. Imagine there's that pop can, and every time you lift your arms, the goal is to crush that pop can. 4 more here. 4, breathing through it. 3, exhale up. 2, 1 more, 1 more. 1, and release the shoulders. From here, turn the palms facing up. The elbows are in nice and tight to the torso. Lift the chest, shoulders back. Keep the elbows in and rotate the palms out. Here we go for 8. 8, squeeze the shoulders and release. Exhale, 7. Going through that rotation, 6. Soft knee bend here, standing up nice and tall, keeping the chest lifted. Exhale, squeeze the shoulders, release. 3 more. 3, really contracting through the back. 2, 1 more here. 1, and release. Another shoulder rotation move. We're going to bring our fingertips up onto the clavicle, lift the elbows up so the upper arm is parallel to the floor and the elbows are pointing straight out in front. From here, let's rotate back, squeeze the shoulders, and release. Let's go for 8. 8. Exhale. 7. Breathing deeply. 6. Again, focusing on that retraction of the shoulders. You're squeezing the shoulder blades every rep. We've got 2 more. 2. And 1. And release the shoulders. We are going to take it to the yoga strap or towel. So if you've got a beach towel handy, grab it because we are going to take this into a shoulder dislocation. Now this move sounds worse than it is. Let's widen our grip on the towel or the yoga strap. Nice wide overhand grip right at chest height. And from here, we're going to bring our arms up and over and then bring them back and down behind the lower back. Now, if at this point where you bring your arms just behind your ears, you feel your arms kind of sticking, just widen your grip a little bit, slide it out. All right, let's bring it down to the lower back. Here we go. Bring it forward, back to chest height. Again, adjust your grip as needed. It should feel like a stretch, but still a fairly fluid movement through the shoulders. Exhale, pull back and down, release forward. Exhale, pull back and down, release forward. Let's go for 3 more. 3, 2, 1 more here. 1, and release the shoulders. Bring them up nice and high. Widen your stance ever so slightly. And from here, walk one hand in. So you're going to slide one hand a little closer inward. And that arm is going to come up next to the ears. So I'm going to lean my arms over to the left side, bringing my right arm right next to my ear and pulling back ever so slightly. Hold. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Now over to the other side. Bring that left arm up. Nice deep breathing here. Again, we're standing tall and pulling back ever so slightly. 3, 2, 1. And then release the shoulders down. Shake them out. We're going to bring them behind the lower back. Palms facing up. Feet shoulder width apart. And if the distance between your hands, if you extend your index fingers, they should be just on the outside of your thighs. Lift your chest, shoulders back, chin tucked in. Let's do this. Pull up, squeeze your shoulder blades, and back down. Nice and easy for 8. Squeeze the shoulder blades and back down. Exhale. Inhale. Lift up enough that you feel that squeeze and pause briefly at the top for that contraction through the mid back. 2 more here. 2, 1 left, 1 left, and 1. And release the shoulders, shake it out. From here, we're going to go back to the top. We're going to take it to our shoulder dislocations. Again, we're going to go nice and wide, overhand grip on your towel or your yoga strap. And remember, you can widen that grip as needed. Let's bring it back and over the head. Here we go. 8. This exercise should feel fairly fluid, again, but it should feel like a stretch for the shoulders, gently pushing that range of motion. Should feel like it's just working enough to get a mild to moderate stretch. 2 more here. 2, 1 left here, and 1. Bring it back to chest height. This time, walk the hands in, but we're going to go closer in so that we're just outside of the thighs if the hands were down. Let's row it in. Tension on the band. Lift that chest, and then pull in. Pull the strap toward the chest, and release. Elbows should be traveling, squeeze and release at a 45-degree angle, so they're slightly down toward the floor. Exhale, pull, squeezing the towel, pulling it taut, and holding that grip so that you're working the forearms, the shoulders, and the back. 2 more here. Exhale. 2, one more, and 1. All right, lower it down behind the back. Once again, palms facing up into our raises. So feet shoulder width apart, lift the chest, set the shoulders back, and then tuck the chin back. Let's pull up for 8. Here we go. Exhale. 8. Don't forget about that squeeze. 7. It's a slow, controlled motion, but you're really thinking about squeezing through the mid-back, the muscles on either side of the spine, and fairly low in the mid-back, so just above the lower back here. 2 more, 2 more. 1 left. Now we're going to keep those hands behind the back, and from here add a forward fold. So keep the tension on, palms facing out, and we're going to lift the arms and hinge from the hips. So let's hinge from the hips, raise the arms up, get that stretch in the hamstring, and lower the arms down while lifting the legs. Inhale, lift the arms, hinge forward, and back up. Just going to show you this one from the side. So we're hinging, keeping the chest out, driving the heels into the floor. Nice big stretch in those hamstrings. Exhale. Pushing the bum back. Let's go for 3 more here. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Working through range of motion for the chest, shoulders, lower back, glutes, and hamstrings. And release. All right, let's lower it down. From here, we're going to take this into a semi-lunging position. So nice wide stance. Toes on the right foot are facing to the right. Toes on the left foot are also facing right, but less of an angle. Then we're going to fold forward, placing the forearm just on top of the thigh. Arm down, chest pushed out. From here, we're going to rotate, row, back down. Let's go for 8. Here we go. 8. It's an explosive row. 7. Breathing deeply. 6. Squeezing the shoulder blade back. 5. Exhale on the pull. 4. 3. You've got this. 2. 1 more here. 1. From here, let that arm hang down. And we're going to rotate up, look up to the thumb, and hold. Breathing through this. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release back down. Gently come up out of that lunge. Flip your feet, and we'll take it over to the other side. Forearm just on top of the thigh. Fold forward. Let the opposite hand hang down. Lift the bum and push the chest out. Let's rotate and row for 8. Here we go. 8. Bringing the hand next to the rib cage. 7. Exhale on the rotation. 6. Pull the elbow back. 5. So it's a strong row. That's it. 3 more. 3. Rotating through the trunk. 2. 1 more here. 1 more. 1. Let that arm hang down, pushing the chest out. When you're ready, rotate up. Look up to that thumb. Holding here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, lower it back down. And shake out the legs. We're going to stay in that wide stance. We're actually going to take it just a little bit wider here. So widen that stance up. We're going to take this to legs and hips. To get warmed up through the legs and hips, we're going to go into a semi-lunging position. We're going to lunge down, lifting the toe on the opposite side, and back up to the center, over to the other side. Now, the depth of this lunge is up to you. You can do a semi-lunging position. You can go all the way into a side lunge. It really depends on how your hips and adductors are feeling. That's the muscle on the inside of the thighs. Just go to the depth that feels right for you. 2 more here. 2. 1 more, 1 more. 1. And we're going to take this side lunge a little wider. So let's take this down to the right side. So start in that semi-lunge position, lift that toe, push the chest out, and now take your hand and just cross it over, touching the shin, pushing the bum back. Stretch it out. Now, you can either stay here or get a little bit lower, bringing both hands down to the floor and try to push the chest out, reaching those fingertips down, and bring one hand back up, bring the other hand back up, and gently lift up and over to the other side. So into that semi-lunging position. Once again, we're going to come on down, take that free hand, cross it over the shin. Now again, you can stay here nice and low, or take this up a notch, reach down, bringing the fingertips down, try to get nice and low, but keep that chest pushed out. Try not to round, but if there is some rounding, that's okay. Breathing through it, release one hand at a time, and gently lift up out of it. Just shake out those hips. We're going into some squats. So we want that wide stance again. Check that your knees and toes are pointing the same direction. From here, hands facing in, lift the chest, pull the shoulders back, soft knee bend. Let's lower down into a slow squat. Here we go, slow, slow, slow. Now, using your forearms, gently press against the inside of the thigh. Push your chest out, tuck your chin back. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release, gently come up out of it, shake out the hips. We're going to do that again. Palms in, chest lifted, shoulders back. Inhale, slowly lower down into that squat. When you feel you've reached the depth that is comfortable for you, push against the inside of the thigh. Lift the chest, tuck the chin back. Keep everything tight. That's it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up and shake it out. Now we're going to go a little deeper here. If it's comfortable for your knees, we're going to go down into a full deep squat. So if it feels right for you, go ahead and do that, or do a third repetition of the one we just did. So in this one, we want that nice wide stance, toes flared. And we're going to bring it down into the center. And we're going to come all the way down to the floor. Now, place your hands between, palms pressed together, elbows against the inside of the thighs, and gently push. Once again, lift the chest, drive the heels down, tuck the chin back. That's it. Hold, hold, breathing deeply. Now, release your hands, bring them down to the floor, but stay in that squat. We're going to rock to one side. So I'm on my toe and my heel. And then I'm going to switch, rock to the side, switch, rock to the side, switch. One more on either side here. Really opening up those hips and gently lift up out of it. That one's going to be a little tougher to come out of. So lift up. Don't worry too much if you rounded your back, and just shake out those legs. Whew. All right, let's stretch out that upper body. Heels of the palms just on top of your butt cheeks. Feet shoulder width apart, and gently lean back into a back bend. Stretching the chest, stretching the front of the shoulders, gently pulling back with those elbows. Inhale, exhale. Once more, inhale, exhale, and lift up out of it. From here, we're going to take this into a forward fold, feet shoulder width apart, hands just in front of your thighs. We're going to go up and down super slow on this one. So think one vertebrae at a time. Gently fold forward, starting with the lower back. One vertebrae at a time. Let the head come down last. One vertebrae at a time. Slide the fingertips down the front of the legs. Slowly lower it down. And just let gravity take you. Come down and let the head hang. I'm holding on to my ankles here. You can place your hands on your ankles, on your shins, on top of your toes, whatever feels right for you. Let your head hang down. If you feel an urge to lift with the neck, just let gravity take your head down toward the floor, stretching out that lower back. Take your left hand, lift it up off that left leg, and bring it over to the right side. So there's a gentle twist through the core, both hands on that right foot. Again, let your head hang down. Gentle stretch through the lower back, the hamstrings, and a little bit through the shoulder on that left arm. Walk the hands back to the center. And let's go over to the other side. Right hand comes off the right leg and over to the left side. And hold. Stretching it out. Let that head hang down. Nice big exhale, bring it back to center. And again, we're going to slowly walk it up. One vertebrae at a time. The head comes up last. Slow, slow, slow. Just dragging those hands over the knees. Lifting up through that mid-back. Unraveling the spine as you lift, and the head's going to come up last. Pull the shoulders back, pull the head back, and pull the shoulder blades down. And release. From here, place your arms out in front, slight bend in the elbows, almost making a big O shape. Palms down, chest lifted. Let's pull back, rotating into a W, squeezing the shoulder blades, and back down. Let's go for 8. Exhale. 8, 7, breathing through it. 6, squeeze through those shoulders. 5, don't forget about that retraction. 4, any back or back of the shoulder exercise, which are the rear delts or posterior deltoid, requires that squeeze. 2 more here. Exhale. 2, one more, and 1. And release the shoulders. Now, we're going to take this into what I'm going to call a scapular push-up, but typically we would do this on the floor or on the wall, but we're going to do this one body weight. So, place your hands out in front of you, almost like you're going to do a standing push-up against the wall. So palms are facing out, slight bend in the elbows, so the elbows are soft, chest is lifted. Now from here, you're going to pull your hands, elbows, and shoulders back. Squeeze those shoulders. Let the tension build. You're crushing the pop can, and then release. Push them forward. Now, when you push forward, imagine that you're pulling your scapula away from the center. You're pushing them outward to the side. Now, pull back. Squeeze. Lift the chest. Pull the shoulder blades. Let the tension build. Push the hands out. You're pushing the wall away from you, pulling the scapula away from the spine. Bring it in. Squeeze the shoulders. 1 more. Push the wall away from you. Rounding through the shoulders. And release. Whew. All right, let's roll the shoulders back and down. Pulling backward. Making those nice circles. Two more here. One left. And release the shoulders. From here, let's take it to our mat. So a little bit of hip mobility to start. Grab a water break if you like, since we're between movements here. We're going to take this down to the mat into a seated position. So nice wide stance with the feet. Just let your toes flop inward. Lift your chest and stand up nice and tall. Take that right hand, turn the palm up, sweep down to the left leg, and bring it back up into the T. Take that opposite hand, sweep down to the other side, and back up. Exhale. Inhale. We're getting that nice little stretch through the lower back, through the hips, but also focusing on those postural muscles. Exhale. 2 more here. 1 left. And back up to seated. Now from here, bring your feet in a little closer. So they're about feet shoulder width apart if you were standing. Lift your chest, place your hands just behind you. And from here, we're going to take that right leg. And I want you to imagine that there's a dumbbell lying on the floor next to your right foot. We're going to go up and over that dumbbell, back in, up, over that dumbbell. Let's go for 8, 7, back in. That's it. 6. Try to lift your foot up as high as you can. Challenge your hip flexor and try to maintain strong posture here. I know it can be challenging to keep that chest lifted when the hip is working hard, but just try to move back and forth through that range of motion, lifting up as high as you can, and back to the center. We've got one more on this side. Lift up as high as you can, and back. All right, let's take this over to that left foot. So once again, reposition your upper body as needed. Let's go for 8. Step it out. 8. Back in. Now, depending on your hip mobility, you can imagine that the dumbbell is either standing on its head, and you have to go all the way over it, or on its side, if that's more comfortable for you. Just work through that range of motion, picturing yourself going over and back, working through the hip flexor. Again, try to keep your chest as lifted as possible here. If your back is slightly rounded, that's okay. We're just trying to maintain strong posture whenever possible. And bring it in. Whew. All right, shake out those hips. So from here, just seated position, leaning back, and we're just going to windshield wiper through those hips, twisting gently side to side. Breathing through it. Now our next move, we're going to go to a kneeling position. So if you have a thin mat and you have that beach towel near you, I would recommend folding it up and just placing it under your knees as needed to support the knees. If you're on a thicker mat, you can simply kneel. So knees shoulder width apart, hands flat on the mat, push the chest out, pull the abdominals in, and from here, place your fingertip just behind one ear, and we're going to gently rotate up, looking out to the side, and back down. Let's go for 8 here. Exhale, 7. So once again, the hips and knees stay facing forward. We just have that gentle twist through the spine. 3 more. 3. 2. 1 more here. 1 more. And 1. Let's lower that hand down, switch it out to the other side, fingertips just behind the ear, chest pushed out, back flat. Let's go for 8. Other side here. 8. Now you might notice that the rotation on one side, 7, is a little bit more limited than the other side. That's okay. That's what we're working on. So just work within the range of motion that feels right for you. Just a gentle stretch through the mid-back and through the back of the shoulders. 2 more here. 2. 1 left, 1 left. 1. And lower that hand down. I'm just going to turn to face you, maybe a little wider with the knees. So my knees are pointing outward, a little hard to see on that dark screen. From here, I'm going to walk my hands forward. And from here, I'm going to rock forward, pushing my weight forward over my hands, and then rock back, bringing my bum to my heels. Rock forward and back, getting that stretch through the hips. Forward, back. 2 more here. Forward, back. 1 more. Forward and back. We're going to turn to lay on our side. So in this move, I'm going to have my bottom leg extended. My top leg is going to flip forward, so my foot is pointing straight out, and I'm going to be on my forearm. Other hand can be on the hip or on the mat, whatever's comfortable for you. Now with that bottom leg, push the heel out and flex at the ankle so that the bottom of the foot is completely flattened and pushed away from you. Lift the chest, and let's raise that bottom leg up and down for 8. Here we go. 8. Breathing through. 7. Now this move, you're going to feel a little squeeze in the hip and back down. And it should feel like a good range of motion exercise for the hips. It should feel like a good hip movement, but the range of motion is quite small, and that is quite normal. One more here. Don't forget about that heel pushed out. And one. We're going to flip over onto our bellies in between before we do the other side. I'm sorry, onto our backs. So belly up, palms down, shoulders relaxed, and the head down on the mat. From here, we're going to take a big breath in, exhale, and push the lower back down toward the floor. Ready? Inhale. Exhale, push the lower back down to the floor. On that exhale, try to empty the air out of your lungs. Feel the abs engage and release. Nice big inhale. Exhale, push the air out of the lungs, pushing the lower back down into the mat, letting tension build in the abdominals. Let go of that air and release. Inhale. Exhale, push the lower back down to the floor. Let tension build in the abdominals. Release. Once more here. Inhale. Exhale, push the lower back down into the floor. You're pushing the air out of the lungs, breathing, and relax. Let's flip over to the other side. So, bottom leg extended, top leg crossed over, toe pointing out, and don't forget about that bottom leg heel. We want that heel pushed outward. On your forearm, chest lifted, hand on the hip or on the mat. Ready? Let's lift up for 8. 8. Once again, don't forget about that squeeze, pushing the heel out. Lift, squeeze, keep the heel pressed out. 4. Again, you might find range of motion is better on one side than the other. 3, but that's what we're working on. 2, one more here, and 1. Let's flip over once again onto our backs. We're going to take this into a happy baby. So, lower your head down, relax through that upper body. We're going to take our hands, lift those legs up, place your hand on the outside of your feet or your shoes, and relax that upper body down. Now, if this is a little bit too much of a stretch for you, you can also do one leg at a time. That's a great option for you if you find that you struggle with the hips on this one. And if you find that your head involuntarily comes up off the mat and you can't seem to keep your neck relaxed, go ahead and place that folded up towel underneath your head for that added base of support. Nice big inhale and exhale. Let's try to relax the shoulder blades down toward the mat. And gently release your hands. Lower the feet back down toward the floor. Let's stretch out the glutes. Cross right leg over the left, turning that knee out. Interlock your fingers just behind that leg. And once again, drop the head, neck, and shoulders down, stretching out that glute. Gently pull that leg in toward you and keep the heels of both feet pressed outward. That will really help to get that stretch through the glutes here. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Oftentimes in this stretch, 2 things happen. 1, the head may come up. If your hip flexors tend to be particularly tight, you may need a pillow or that folded up towel behind your head to add a little bit of support so there's no strain on the neck. And 2, we tend to keep our shoulders really tight on this one. Just let them drop down. Even though we're holding the back of the leg and we're supporting the leg with the arms, try to relax your shoulders as much as you can. All right, let's lower that side down. Take it over to the other leg. Cross left over right. Turn the knee out. Take those hands, interlock them behind that leg. Once again, drop the head, neck, and shoulders down. Don't forget about those feet. We're keeping the heels pressed out and the ankles flexed. That ankle flexion, I know it comes up a lot. For the most part, most exercises are done with the ankles in a flexed position rather than toes pointed. So we do want to keep pushing those heels out and pulling the toes in toward the shins. And gently release the legs here. From here, go back to that towel, grab your yoga strap or your towel, and we're going to stretch out the hamstring. So this is going to be an assisted stretch. Now there's two options here. We're going to extend one leg, but that other one can either stay bent or extend it down to the floor. The bent knee position is the easier of the two. We're going to loop the towel or the yoga strap around the arch of the foot. And from here, just gently pull that leg in toward you. So you can either have that opposite knee bent, or if it doesn't feel like enough of a stretch for you, go ahead and extend that leg. Now, with the leg that's in the air, again, ankle flexion, push the heel up toward the ceiling. You're gently pulling the toes down toward you, keeping that ankle flexed. Now, in this move, we often feel like our knees are too bent, but if you're feeling that stretch in the hamstring and it feels like a moderate stretch, then that is correct. Don't worry too much about that knee bend. Do what feels right for your level of flexibility. Hamstrings can vary greatly in flexibility levels. And keep in mind, we sit at a desk all day. Hamstrings can get pretty tight from sitting in that bent knee position. And just gently let your foot fold inward and then unhook the foot and take it over to the other side. So once again, you can have that opposite knee bent or extended. Loop the towel or the yoga strap around the bottom of the foot. You can extend the bottom leg if it feels more comfortable for you to get that stretch, and push the heel up toward the ceiling. Nice big hamstring stretch here. Now we can do this one with our hands interlaced behind the leg, but I always find that a yoga strap or a towel just allows for a little bit more comfort in the stretch and a slightly deeper stretch in those hamstrings. Inhale. And exhale. Don't forget to relax those shoulders. And just let that foot fold inward. Release the strap or the towel. And let's come up to a seated position. We're almost there. Just the last few stretches. So sitting up, however is comfortable for you. Take the outside of your left hand and gently rotate, lifting through the chest. Lift that chest up nice and high, imagining that there's a string pulling your chest up toward the ceiling. And inhale and exhale. Breathing through it. And gently rotate back to center, releasing the spine and over to the other side. Outside of the right hand against the outside of the left thigh. Lift that chest and gently rotate once again. Imagining there's a string pulling your chest up toward the ceiling. Tuck the chin back. We spend so much of the day with our head pushed forward, looking at screens, or sitting in a maybe a not so great postural position. So just try to tuck your chin back here, add that little bit of neck mobility to the move, and release, bring it back to center. From here, just let yourself round through the back, let yourself fold forward, and push the palms out, rounding through the upper back. Lift the arms up, reaching up nice and high. And bring the arms down. Lastly, let's stretch out that neck. So from here, we're going to take one hand, right hand, and hook it to the bottom of your mat. Lift your chest, and we're going to turn and look down over the right shoulder. Just a little bit of tension by hooking the hand on the bottom of the mat. And now turn, look over the left shoulder, and this time gently look upward. Just a slight look up. We're not cranking the neck upward. We're just gazing about 45 degrees up the wall. And release. Let's take it over to the other side. Left hand, hooked underneath that mat. Lift the chest. And now again, we're going to turn and look down, this time to the left side. So you should just see your shoulder just kind of at the bottom of your vision. We're looking over that shoulder. And we're going to turn, look up to that right side. Again, we're not cranking the neck. We're just looking up gently. A little bit of a stretch through that neck. And neck stretches should always be gentle. And bring it back to center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're all done for today. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope you have a great day. See you again soon.